Evening to my racing community. Welcome back to another video. This time Kieran here covering day 3 and the Saturday of the July meeting at Newmarket. We've also got 4 races from York and a race from Ascot, so 9 races in total, so we'll get straight into it and get through it as quick as we possibly can. Starting at Newmarket, where the main event is, the first race is the 2:12, the Trust to Trade Fillies handicap over 7 furlongs, where Miss Nightfall is currently favourite for Staffy Osborne and James Fanshawe. Well back last time in the Sandringham at Ascot at the Royal Meeting, but couldn't get the job done. And I think 9-4 is plenty skinny enough about her. I will be taking her on with Royal Velvet of William Knight, who was third over course and distance last time, and she will do for me, at 7-1 each way play. I believe we should have 8 runners, 3 places, and I think she'll be in with a fair shout. Obviously, like I said, third over course and distance last time, not being very far, definitely a good chance there. We then move on to the 250, the Bunbury Cup, which is normally a competitive race. We only have 13 runners, which is very unusual for this race. But I can't believe the price of this favourite. More Thunder, I know he was an unlucky loser up at Ascot when finishing second to get it. Obviously, Marquand had his issues with the whip at the end of that, but 6-4 for a Bunbury Cup is a ridiculous price. I will be happy to take him on, and I'm going to take him on with last year's winner, Alto of Ian Williams, is Joe Levy in the saddle, 14-1. You're probably going to get 4, potentially even 5 places on the day in this race. Alto won this race last year. He's had what could be classed as a prep run a couple of weeks ago, where over a mile, over 7 furlongs, where he fell out the stalls. Didn't really do a lot, just literally had a jog up the straight over the course. Will probably set him perfectly fine for this, for a chance to go back to back in the Bunbury Cup. And at 14-1 currently, I'd be willing to play him each way. You're going to get, like I said, you're going to get 4 or 5 places in the race. So he will do for me. We then move on to the Bet365 mile handicap over the mile, obviously, with Benedum Prince for Buick and Appleby. Obviously, they had a good day today with 3 winners on the track. 5-2 favourite, 2 wins at Doncaster and Newmarket on the rolling mile. Those are both over 10 furlongs, though. Comes back to the mile for handicap debut, but I'm going to take him on, and I'm going to take him on one of the horses that seems to be becoming a favourite of mine. I've put him up a couple of times, and that's Thunder Wonder for Billy Loughnane and Charlie Johnson, currently in the betting at 16-1. Against it will probably be an each way play at those prices. I think there's only 7 runners currently in this race. We might have to have a small swing at 16's win only. But 2 wins up at Musselburgh, making all, and the last of that being over a mile and 1 furlong, where he just hold on to win. I can see, obviously, he was down the field in Britannia, but you can forgive that run. He then went from ran in a Premier Handicap over in Ireland at the Curragh, where he was 6th that day. He was actually sent off second favourite, well backed. And I can see him running another decent race here, especially if he gets loose on the front end. I can see him very difficult to pass, as most Johnson horses are. And at 16-1, it's definitely worth a play against an unknown quantity, dropping back in trip of Godolphins at 5-2. And then we move on to the Superlative Stakes, probably the second biggest race on the card behind the July Cup itself, where Italy is favourite 4-6 for O'Brien and Moore. 1 start, 1 win up at Leopardstown, and he's going to take all the beating here. I think he's the next best thing off the conveyor belt. They've got plenty going for him. Obviously, there are plenty of winners up at Ascot, and this is another one off the conveyor belt. The second, the name escapes me now what the second is called, but he of Stacks finished second in the Chesham on the Saturday at Royal Ascot to Humility. Obviously, that's decent form. I think this Italy could be, like I said, Wooden Bassett Colt could definitely be another decent one off the conveyor belt, and will take a lot of being at 4-6. I'm not telling you to back it. If you're going to do multiples, happy days, carry on, but will be backing it at 4-6. I'll just be watching him win. And then We move on to the July Cup Stakes itself over 6 furlongs. Notable Speech's favourite here. Currently best priced at, what have I got here? 11-4, dropping back in trip. Obviously won the Guineas last year. But obviously they know what they're doing. This sprint division is not the best over here or over in Ireland, to be honest. So they are rolling the dice with this boy who's beat over a mile the first 2 starts of the season. Well, I'm going to take a swing at one here. I can't believe the price of this thing either. And it's Edis of March of Aidan O'Brien's and Wayne Lordan will be second string, no doubt, to Whistle Jacket that Ryan Moore's been booked to ride. Whistle Jacket obviously won on this card last season. Actually won the race that was ran today and won it very impressively. But I think he needs soft ground, and the fact that they're bringing this boy over potentially could be the pace angle. But he was sent off favourite for a race at Newbury 2 starts ago, which Symbol of Honour won. He wasn't beaten that far, only beaten a length and a half, and he's best price 50-1 for this race. Now, there's a lot of these on here. Obviously, he didn't fire in the Commonwealth Cup for some peculiar reason. But he's 50-1 here, and if you can pull a line through the Commonwealth Cup run, he's not a 50-1 shot. He's far too big for an Aidan O'Brien horse coming over. Wayne Lordan will take the ride, and I'd be happy to play this boy in a very open race. At 50-1, that's Edis of March each way in the July Cup Stakes, where, like I said, it's a very open race. You've got horses coming back in trip, you've got horses out of form, there's all sorts going on in a very ropey division. So yeah, 50-1, Edis of March will be in the July Cup Stakes. We then go over to York for 4 races at York. The first one being the John Smith Racing Handicap over 7 furlongs, where Removes is favourite at 3-1, 4th in the Jersey Stakes last time out at Royal Ascot. But I'm going to take him on off with the top weight Flight Plan of Carl Burks and Clifford Lee on board. Last seen finishing down the field at Epsom, finishing 9th or 10th. But I don't think he liked the ground that day. And obviously it rained on Derby Day, and by the time it got to his race, it was probably a lot softer than the go-in description of good to soft. Didn't like the go-in. Obviously won it first the time before that very nicely. And obviously last year was running in listed and group company in decent races, both over here in England and in Ireland as well. I think currently best price 10-1, again each way play on a horse that's actually won at the track as well. He's got course form in the book, and I think he's a decent each way prospect for Carl Burke. Obviously does well at the meet at the track, and Clifford Lee on board 10-1 currently best price, and we'll go from there with Flight Plan. We then moved on to the City of Wolves Stakes, the 235, where Washington Heights. Now, I thought this horse was going to do a lot at the start of the season. He's not fit the bill, to be honest. He's disappointed on 3 or 4 occasions so far this season. He's come here 5-2 favourite. Can't be having that, not a million years. So the horse I'm going to back, who's right down the bottom of the weights as he's a 3-year-old, is Star of Memas for Holly Doyle and Richard Hughes. And how unlucky is this horse not to win a race this season so far? Second at Chelmsford, beaten a length. Then come here to York and was second again, was beaten a neck. And then went to Sandown for a listed race at Sandown and was beaten by Town and Country and was beaten half a length in that race as well. How he's not got his head in front, I do not know, but getting all the allowances for a 3-year-old, I think Saturday will be the day, and he's currently best price 5-1, which is quite a decent price, to be honest, considering the fact that this race is fairly open. I don't like the favourite at all, and if we keep the 8 runners or so that we got in it, I think 5-1 could be a decent play for him. We then move on to the 310, the John Smith's Cup, the big race, the big handicap on the card for this meeting. And Archivist is favourite at 3-1. Like every man and his dog is on this horse for this race. Obviously, won very snug over the course last time out 2 weeks ago, where they didn't want to get there too soon. Marquand was holding back as much as he can to win the race and just about run the race to keep his handicap mark down. He's a 3-year-old as well, so he gets allowances for that. But I'm going to take him on with another 3-year-old, and I can't believe the price of this horse when he was put up. Obviously, I won't be taking prices now; they'll be put up on Saturday morning. But this is a big price as well. It's Mirabeau for Mr. French Davis, and Jason Hart will be in the saddle. 2 decent runs this season. The first being 3rd behind Sea Scout up at Epsom. Last where he was doing all the best work at the end. The second in that race was Trinity College. He's gone on and won at Royal Ascot since and run a decent race in the French Derby. So that's decent form, I think. He then went and finished 5th in the D Stakes up at Epsom. Not Epsom, sorry, up at Chester. So he's running 2 decent listed events this season. Drops back into handicap company. I know it's strong handicap company, but it's handicap company nonetheless. Gets allowances off the older horses. He's only a 3-year-old, and he's 25 to 1. I think he could definitely outrun his odds. You're potentially going to get 4, potentially 5 places in this race. So he'd be the one for me, and that'd be Mirabeau. And then the 3:45, the last race on the York card that's on ITV, and it's the Silver Cup Stakes, and Al Kareem is favourite here after his win last time out of the course of distance, where he beat Absurd and a few others in the race, including Al Caribas, who I obviously put up today, that won today, so that's a decent one in the form book for that horse. And Al Kareem for Carl Burke and Clifford Lee is currently 13 to 8 best price, and I think he's going to be a very, very tall order to beat. I think it'd be decent price, and if he's odds against the Saturday morning, I would definitely be having a decent play on him. So that's Al Green for the Silver Cup. I can't see like Table Talk second favourite, 1OK up at Newbury, but I think Al Green sets a lot higher standard here and will be very difficult to beat. And then the 2:22 over at Ascot, the last race we're going to cover is the Never So Brave. Never So Brave, I'm giving away what I was going to say then, is the Summer Mile over the mile, and Never So Brave is favourite 100 to 30, and he is my selection for this race. I backed him at Chester, where he just didn't get there at Chester. Got done a neck, not even a neck, it was a short head at Chester. And then I didn't back him when he won at Royal Ascot, when he won the, what race did he win? The Buckingham Palace Stakes, where he was doing all his best work at the end. Step up to a mile should be no problem whatsoever, and I think he's got great strong claims here against horses that have got a bit of in and out form. Hartem obviously won at Royal Ascot as well over a mile 2, drops back to the mile, and there's a few others in there. There's Quadesh, I think it is, who run in the Queen Anne, but the Queen Anne form I don't think is up to much. Obviously I love Lake Forest, but he disappointed again at York last time out, and I'm not sure how good strong that form is. So Never So Brave will be my horse for the Summer Mile over at Ascot, which he's best price 100 to 30 for Andrew Bolden and David Probert in the saddle. So that's all 9 races covered. Obviously I will share all my selections on Saturday morning. The NAPS competition via my Telegram. If you haven't joined my Telegram, come over in there and join the NAPS competition I run on a Saturday. Free to enter, and if you find the biggest SP winner of the ITV races, obviously there's plenty, so there's 10 ITV races this weekend, so there's plenty to look at. You'll win a £5 free bet. But thanks again for listening, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. I hope we can find plenty of winners. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and have a good day, guys, and happy punting to all.